Okay, it says recording, so I'm gonna hit stop.
Good.
Pause recording, okay. Oh, it says you're recording. Let's see. Good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
Hi.
So it's AAPTEL Task 1, Zoom conferencing for peer editing.
1.
I'm gonna have to shut my door real quick for my dog. Katie, hush. Hush.
Okay, and just mine's saying my internet is unstable. I hope it does okay.
You haven't been flickering yet.
Yeah, I can hear you and see you fine.
Me too.
Okay, good.
Okay, so I guess I'll start with Maya.
Yes.
Okay. I thought you did an excellent job. I really, really enjoyed, and I printed your paper off and wrote down a couple things on like page 7 when you're talking. I really like how you gave several specific examples of what teachers do daily that is professional development, but sometimes we as teachers don't see it as professional development. I really liked how you kind of rattled them off one by one, all the things we did. So I thought that was really good. And then you followed up doing the same thing on the next section. And I wrote down again, I like all the examples, and you painted a really clear picture for readers. And this was talking about how they implemented plan, model, implement, and assist other teachers in implementing best practices in their instruction. Like you painted a really clear picture for the reader of the task to understand what it's like in that classroom. I also really liked the part on page 12. You started, I thought you weren't doing it, but I think you did do it. I wrote down, state some of the roles like you did earlier, but I think you did do it, and it was just in a sentence or two later. So I feel like that was really strong going through your whole paper, how you were able to really pull out specific examples of the everyday teacher. I did find one thing that I wanted to mention to you. On page 6, you use quotation marks around one size fits all, and I did that in AAPTEL when I was kind of paraphrasing what teachers would say, and Dr. Hamilton told me not to use any quotes unless it's a direct quote from the book, because if Turnitin would see it as a quote or something, and it might ding you a point there.
Right.
And then in that, when you talk about a sit and get sessions, should it be sit hyphen and hyphen get? I don't know. I'm not English. I'm math. I throw hyphens everywhere.
I would probably go ahead and hyphenate that.
Okay.
And then the only other thing that I read that really kind of caught my attention in the recruitment, placement, and mentoring of school staff, you have a sentence that says, a teacher may be very effective teaching in one kind of environment, but not in another. Teachers may lack the skills to teach in extremely diverse classrooms, the patience to teach boisterous students, the toughness to teach rebellious students, and the empathy to be good with low achieving students, or the self-confidence to teach exceptional ones. That is a super sentence. I love it. My only thing that made me go, was the empathy to be good with low achieving students. I know what that means. I know what the word good means with low achieving. And I was trying to think of some other words that might fit in there. So I put like kind, understanding. I didn't want to reuse patience. But sometimes with the low achieving students, you have to repeat and continuously model those things for them. I thought maybe switching out that word good would make that sentence just out of this world. But all in all, I thought you did. There was a couple spelling errors, but I tried to list all them in that feedback. I copied and pasted sentences and tried to put page numbers to make it easier. Again, I'm not a speller. You give me that letter, I'm going to tell you what value it is, not how to spell a word. But I loved it. It read very well. It was very clear. And I think you did an excellent job.
Okay. Thank you.
And I agree. Actually, I put that you were proficient in the writing, and the only problems I saw were, and I know they were typographical errors, with the spelling, and I also did the page numbers like she did, so that you would know where they were.
Mhm.
5, page 6, and page 7. There were several times when you put it's and you meant it is or it apostrophe s.
Okay.
Didn't put the apostrophe in there, but I know you were doing it because you were in a hurry.
Right.
So those are just, you just need to clean it up is all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've always had a question about that. Can we use, in a professional paper, can we use contractions? Or is it
Tell my
not?
students not to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Normal paper.
Okay. I was wondering that myself because I caught myself trying to spell out cannot, and I know can't's not a word, so I guess that's not the best example to use. But I wondered about that too, for my own paper. Thank you, Tucker,
Yes.
for helping with that part because I forget that stuff.
Yes.
You're welcome.
All right.
So
Miss Faye, you want us to do you next?
Sure.
That's not sexual harassment.
Listen, I was doing the same thing. I was just typing away, so I'm sure that there are lots of errors.
Well, I ran out of ink, so I'm going to pull up on my computer your paper because I saved it on there.
I thought you were gonna say you ran out of ink,
Ah,
making all the corrections.
no, I ran out of ink in my computer the other day. I guess now I can't read the articles on the computer. I have to print them out. So I printed out so many I ran out of ink. So the first thing I saw, and I know you know this and probably didn't think about it, make sure you put in the school background information. Right?
Oh yeah, I forgot to do that.
And then, unhighlight the
Did
yellow
you put
stuff.
that on one of you put that on my peer review form?
I have
Yeah.
not finished filling out your peer review form.
So I'll remember to do that. I don't know why I didn't, but as soon as I submitted it, I said, oh no, I forgot to put the background. But I'll add that.
Yes, I included that as well on my peer review to you as well.
Good.
So I made one note that I learned from doing the AAPTEL. When you have repeated authors, I learned how to do that et al.
Yeah.
Thing. So I included that in there. My only question, I guess, would be for Dr. Hamilton is if it's more than like 2 or 3 or 4 authors, I know we do the et al. But if it's just 2, can we just put, Bratcher and more? Or do we need to do the et al? So that was a question I had in yours. I liked some of the examples you gave in the first section, talking about these include visiting classrooms daily, staff development goals, visions, shared research, good examples there in that part. I really like that. One other thing, I guess it's an APA thing. When you start off the sentence, and I may be wrong, y'all, I'm not APA expert. Fogarty and Pete, I believe you're supposed to put the year after them.
You put that at the
End of the sentence?
At the end of the sentence, if it's part of the sentence.
Okay. I liked how yours were pretty concise and to the point. You stated what the articles were about, and then you gave 2 or 3 quotes that backed up what you said the summary of the article was. So I thought that was really good with being able to summarize those, and you were very effective with that part. There was one place to indent, and I think on page I don't have my page numbers on this document I'm looking at, but I think I told you what page that was.
Are we supposed to number our pages? Because I don't remember.
I saw it on somebody else's and then saw it in that sample for the AAPTEL. So I went in and did the header and just did page number.
Yeah, I think our header is supposed to have a page number at the top. For APA style, I think the top should have
Oh,
your,
guess what? I forgot to put the header in too.
yeah, the heading should have your page number.
Yes, that's right. Now I remember.
And then the only other thing that I would worry about for the form of the paper is that advanced ed Elliott tool, which I have to use as well, being in South Carolina. It's small to read in your appendix, and I know I was told to try to do that a little bit better in my last AAPTEL. So I was able to get a scanned copy of that emailed to me, so I can try to forward you that one since we're using that same form, and that might be easier to add to the AAPTEL appendix. But great job.
Okay, and my teacher survey in Appendix A, I put this in a Word document and copy and pasted it because I did it in Google Forms and it would not transfer over very well either. So I'm not sure what to do with that one.
When you were in the Google Forms, there's a place where you can, what did I do? Because I printed it off, and then on my printer here at home, I scanned it in. So does anyone have access to a scanner at school?
Well, I've got one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My printer will scan.
Yeah, it makes it a whole lot easier to see when you do it that way.
Yeah,
and you know what? That's what I'll do with the Elliott too.
I didn't think yours looked bad. Your survey looked fine, but the Elliott was the only thing that's just not very readable.
Yeah, well, it's too
for
tight.
somebody that's not South Carolina to have to look at that and see what your sections might have been.
Yeah.
What the criteria was for your observations.
Yeah. Okay, so did y'all do a running, did you continue straight into your appendices or did you start on a new page?
I think we're supposed to start on a new page. Once we start our appendices, it's supposed to be a new section, a new page.
And isn't each appendices a different page?
Yes.
Okay. So check that out.
Okay, I also did phase peer review as well. And it was very clear that you understood the task, and the information was well laid out in a manner that was easy to understand. You did in-depth research, which was good. It was very informative, and you specifically gathered the information from the survey and the checklist that was shown in prompt 2. And I noted, just don't forget to put, well, I noted the school background information as well. And then in prompt 2, your graphs are a little hard to see. And some of your paragraphs also have only 2 sentences, so check that as well. And I thought it was good how, as far as leadership goes, I thought it was good how you stated that you researched, one of your researchers was Coggins and McGovern 2014, and it state that effective teacher leadership improves teaching and learning outcomes and gives teacher voice in policy making at all levels. Their evidence is that schools with leaders gave higher ratings to decision making and teacher efficacy. I just thought that was interesting, and how they add that schools with teacher leaders achieve higher student learning, provide effective teachers for students with higher needs, extend careers of educators who seek growth. And just the fact that as principals, we can't do it all. So we have to use our teachers as leaders to help guide us as well. So I just thought that was very powerful in your paper. Just as far as some of the mechanics and grammar issues, some of your paragraphs are single and some are double. So just make sure you check that. Check to make sure all of your paragraphs.
That I typed? The ones that I typed, or is it the ones that their directions?
The ones that you typed.
Oh no.
Just double check that. And then just make sure some of your paragraphs are indented as well.
Okay.
Then I saw some of your words were in italics. So check that.
If the words are in italics, that's the title of the article.
So
Okay.
what she's talking about there, I think, because I saw that too, it looks like the reason I didn't pick it up at first as being the title of the article is the first word evaluating is capitalized, but then teacher and evaluation wasn't capitalized.
And you know what? Because they didn't do it in the article.
Okay.
Okay. And then just don't forget to take out those yellow highlights. They always tell us that.
I know. I thought, I was just noticing that too.
Give me just a minute.
Yeah,
Right.
your organization is very good overall, though, and it was very easy to understand. And just some of your parentheses and your citations. I saw there was like a parenthesis, author, comma, then another parenthesis, then the year, then another parenthesis. So just check that to make sure you
was
checked
that in my references or in the paper?
In the paper.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And Maya, when you were talking about phase double spacing, were you meaning the 2 spaces after the period or double spacing in the paragraphs?
Double spacing in the paragraphs.
Okay.
Okay. So I guess we can go ahead and move on to Crystal.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, let's see.
Paper up.
Okay, I can start. I
Okay.
did. I thought you were very specific in each section and showed that you research each topic well. Under building efficacy, you have lots of resources that you delve deep into the topic and brought out a lot of specific points. For instance, I thought you took it a step further when you addressed that an issue of resistance for teachers lead professional development is time. The time it takes for administration and teachers to develop professional development opportunities are difficult to accomplish. And teachers found it difficult to manage the time it takes to work with administration and or fellow teachers while maintaining a regular teaching schedule. I just thought that was very interesting how you brought information out and researched that. And just the fact that professional development just, it has to be meaningful and, and specific to different teachers. Because, you have your first year teachers and then you have your veteran teachers and everyone may not need the same professional development. So I just thought that was interesting. As far as your rubric strength, I thought it was interesting how you brought out the point because a lot of times, as far as one of the best characteristics of an effective principal is the ability to praise. The most effective principals are well aware that they are the filter that will set the tone for many things in their schools. And I just thought that was interesting how you brought out that point because a lot of times we tend to focus on more of the negative side than the positive side. And this is a reminder that if we build on the positive, we can build teacher efficacy. I thought your information was organized and well presented in a professional manner. Just watch your sentence structure, particularly under the building efficacy and empowerment section. In that particular section, some of your sentences seem to be more like fragments than complete sentences. So just check that section specifically. And at the top for the heading, the first heading was teacher leadership and decision making. I think you put, like you said, you put both of them in the same section, but just make sure you separate each section to make the layout just more consistent.
Okay.
And then some of your sections were not broken up into paragraphs. It just looked like it all flowed into one section instead of kind of breaking it up into different paragraphs. So just check that.
Yeah, I see.
Check to see if you need to include some of the page numbers in your citations. And also, I noticed one of your page numbers, it had about 7 twos.
Oh, that's because that means that I didn't put that. That's when I needed to go back and put the page number in. I do that whenever I'm like just quoting and
And make sure you have 2 references in each section. That's what they were requiring us to have. 3 references in each section.
Yeah.
Okay. And some of your references don't have a year.
Okay.
So check that. And cite where you got your checklist and survey from, and also include that in your reference section.
Okay, thanks. Didn't think about that. Here with.
You're welcome. And that was all.
Okay. And yeah, make sure that you, there were a couple that you didn't stick a comma before the page number.
Okay.
But yeah, I started laughing when I saw the page numbers that you did.
Yeah.
You knew exactly what you were doing. I was thinking, I really hope she goes back and fix that. You put some weird page numbers there. Let's see.
Oh, I see one, page 000.
Yes, you had a 000. You had a 222.
222. I see that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't need the period after the P for page.
Okay.
Okay,
I see that in a couple.
Let's see. And there were just some typos, the misspelling type thing. It's nothing but typos. So just make sure you do spell check, that kind of thing.
That's one of the things I put in one of y'all's is that I think it probably auto corrects to the wrong word sometimes, and I spell so bad spell check doesn't catch it.
Yeah.
Thank God I have what is that on your phone? Hey Google, how do you spell?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, the writing was really good. And yeah, those little under building efficacy and empowerment, where you put teachers need feedback and training and time and to be treated like professionals. And that's what you were doing. But like we were saying, it's a formal paper.
Okay.
The writing formal.
Okay.
You use contractions. So just be consistent and keep it formal.
Okay.
Get it for effect.
I was also, and I guess I have a question for you guys. I was also wondering in that first part, because I put building efficacy and empowerment and professional development kind of together, and I probably should go split them apart. I just had written all that and then was like, whoa, I can't do that. And I didn't go back and fix it. But I was wondering, I feel like one of those paragraphs is running out of time. We'll end in 10 minutes. Upgrade now. No, we're going to end in 10 minutes. I feel like that was maybe just too much quotes. Is it okay that it's a lot of quotes? Does it need more of me in
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Listen, I would rather see quotes and make sure that the information is accurate and that you're not plagiarizing.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is a big deal. You don't want to plagiarize. So
Well, reading those couple articles on that, because I had 2 or 3 that I read and I didn't really like, and then I got 2 or 3 that I really liked. And reading them, it felt like some of the quotes or the sentences from 2 different sources could be married into one big sentence. So I was like, "Ooh, I'm going to do that," and then I felt like maybe that's too much quoting. But okay.
no, and if you notice, a lot of the studies, they're nothing but
Mm-hmm.
from other people. So
I agree.
Okay. Well, thank you, ladies.
All right. Thank you. Thank you all.
So yeah, just again, so
getting
you guys.
better. We're
Yeah, we
getting
are.
better.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if this Zoom session was supposed to be task 1 and task 2, but I know for me, we had that accreditation last week, and I haven't gotten into the classrooms to observe anything yet. So I'll be working on my task 2 and I guess task 3 this week, kind of married together. So just to keep you in the loop, I know I'll be a little bit late uploading task 2. I won't get it in tonight because I have no observations to talk about. So I just wanted to let y'all know that. I'm sorry.
Well, I got task 2 in, but I didn't do, I forgot to put the walkthroughs in, and I couldn't put them in anyway because I've only done 2. Because it's just a busy time with people trying, observations are everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think if we just upload what we have, at least, today, I think it'll be okay.
I will email Dr. Hamilton and make sure she's still aware. Were y'all on the other night? Did they say she had kidney stones?
Oh, was that her?
I guess I got on right when they were saying it, and I heard them talk about it, and I never saw her on there, so I was just putting 2 and 2 together. Gosh, I hope she's feeling better.
I don't know. I teach homebound, and I had 2 little boys that I had to get caught up last week. So I was buried.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a good week this week, girls.
All right.
Absolutely.
I will finish downloading this to the YouTube, and I think I can send the link to the YouTube before it finishes downloading. Just maybe wait an extra few minutes. I'll email again, hey, it's finished downloading, so that you know, and you can try to play it just to make sure it plays before you do it. But I'll get started on all that just right now. And we have 6 minutes, 40 seconds left in this thing for charging me money.
All right.
Thank you, Crystal. Thanks, Maya.
Y'all have a good week and happy Thanksgiving.
Have a good week.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.